right, folks, we're going to be starting a new automation. I've had a couple people ask how to connect Google Sheets on a new row. So we're going to start with adding a new automation in the screen recording function, and then we're going to show how to do that. I'm also going to show you kind of a quick and easy win, I think, for automations for you. And then we'll also show an example of that syncing to a new document. So first, we're going to click Add New Automation. Going to go to Web. We're going to paste cookies. I already grabbed the cookies for ChatGPT. And then we're going to start recording. Now here, we're going to be using a specific prompt that I've actually used in a different example. But first, let's get this set up. First, we're going to click, for this, it's going to be a very simple automation, and I want to use ChatGPT 3.5. And so I'm going to make sure that anytime we come in here, so that I don't use up my valuable tokens, we've got that. Then I'm going to come in and type this prompt. Please create a 2 to 3 sentence message for the person whose information is to follow. It should be exciting, welcoming, and a little punchy, as this message is in response to their opt-in for an AI mastermind. Here is their information, name, and then we'll put a variable there, topics interested in. Okay. Oh, I just broke that. Okay. Interested in. Ooh, no, let's try it. We're gonna add a period there. We'll add a variable right about there. I don't know why I can't type there today. All right. Don't mind the grammar. It's there. Okay. From here, I'm gonna pause, confirm this step real quick. We are gonna have variables, so we'll just drop that here. And then I'm gonna hit I'm done. I like to work with my variables a little bit, so I'm gonna come in and set up this trigger now. And to do this, I'm just gonna type in sheets. Now, occasionally there's a little bit of an error here, so just kind of be prepared for that. So I'm gonna click into the sheets. It'll think for a second. Maybe more than a second. Okay. If that doesn't work, just click on out, come back in here. We're going to type in sheets again, grab it, let it think again. Then we're going to select an event, which is new row. Remember, the new row trigger is when you have a live document or a live Google Sheet, and then you add a new row. If you have existing rows that you're trying to run through, then you're going to be using a list trigger typically. So here, I'm going to add a new connection. Now, I'm going to use this one in just a moment, but let me show you how to connect a new account. You're going to come in, you're going to name this. If I was going to do a personal one, I might just put personal, Google Sheets, connect. Then you can add account or sign in. You click through, it's going to prompt you here. You're going to hit allow. Now, I'm actually not going to do that for now because I'm going to use my other one that's already existing. So then I'm going to select my spreadsheet. So here, I've created a couple for this example. This is my AI Mastermind opt-in. I'm going to make sure to grab sheet number 1. And then I'm going to do continue. I'm going to do the test trigger. It's going to pull my data. So it is good to have, best practices to have these sheets ready to go. And so you can click on the option and kind of see the option 1 should be your headers. So if we go to option 2, you'll see this is my sample data that I want to use. So coming on down here, now I can kind of fill in some of the variables here. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to add in the name, which I knew was a variable from my document. So that's values B. Oh, and that grabbed it and put it in the wrong spot. So we'll just paste it there. Space. Okay, topics interested in should be variable C. Okay. Then we're going to hit save. From here, we're going to go back into the screen recording because now I want to grab this prompt. So we're going to go back in, and I'm building this live with you just so I can show you. This is one of those things that I think most companies could benefit from if they have any kind of website form Google form or AI chatbot that's able to gather information. And so we're going to run through these steps real quick. We're going to click all the pieces. We're going to type our prompt into the box there. Why am I using 3.5? Well, because if this form becomes incredibly popular, then I don't want to get locked out of 4.40 and then have, lackluster, unexpected results. And so just for this example, 3.5. And then this is going to create a custom message, which I'm going to use in the second part of our flow, which I'm also going to set up live in just a moment. But here, I'm now going to go to the click. This is in the way, so move that up. Click here, hit confirm. Awesome. So it gave me this. I will go forward and kind of modify my prompts a little bit because I don't want these quotes, but for right now, this is fine. We're going to scrape single. We're going to click this right here. We're going to confirm. Then we're going to, the next step, you've got a couple different options. I'm going to show you one of the workarounds I've discovered that works well for me. But it's something that you kind of got to choose. You can also sync to a Google Sheet, which I'm going to show you guys that in just a moment here as well. And so the first one's a workaround I found. If you're having any issues with data from the web flows or from the apps going into a Google Sheet at the end of the day, and that's going to be going to a page. And so I'm going to grab this. Is called my middleman form, and it's for this specifically. It's a Google Sheet, and Google Sheets natively. That's right. Natively actually go to Google. They go to a Google Sheet. Google Forms go to a Google Sheet. So if I hit play, it's going to take me here. Then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to type. I'm going to click on the email. I'm going to put whatever I want here because it doesn't matter because that's going to be a variable. Cool. I got stuck, so I'm going to hit cancel. Go back on down, hit the plus mark, type again. Okay. Hit confirm. Then I'm going to say, yes, this is a variable. Scroll down. This variable is in fact going to be the email from the importing Google Sheet. Let's see if I can move this. Perfect. So that's going to be values D. I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to go to type again. And this is going to be the scrape response from ChatGPT. So I'm going to type whatever again. Hit confirm. This is a variable. Scroll on down. Oops. Click in. Delete my standard nonsensical piece. Grab step 6, which actually I'm going to call it step 7 because I forgot to do one very important thing. Step 7, the thing I forgot to do and why we're adding this is because I need to scrape this, but I need to wait about 2 seconds. And so I'm going to come here, hit this plus mark. I'm going to go to a delay right here. And if 0.1 is 6 seconds, I want roughly, that's fine. We'll just do 0.1 for simplicity's sake. Now, you may have noticed that I went up one. That's because sometimes when you go, personal preference. So here you can see my delay, 0.1 minutes, then it'll scrape, then it will drop in step 7. So if I want to verify that that's here, I can just do this, and then bam, it's the same thing. You can type it. Okay, we've got step 7. The next step is to click. Now, before I do that, I'm actually going to click these type variables. Then it's going to just go through that. It's going to type. Right, okay, well, since that didn't verify, I'm actually going to go back to the beginning and run through the entire process again, just in case. I don't need to do this. I'm going to skip that. That doesn't really matter. We're going to type in our box here. Okay, I'm going to click the submit button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to scrape the text. Bam. I should have used that opportunity to test the modification to that prompt. That's okay. Then we're going to go to our new URL. And then this is, again, that workaround. We're going to type in that. We're going to type in this. Perfect. Bam. Okay. Then our next step is going to be to click. And so this will give us the opportunity. Oops. Need to go back and then hit cancel. Don't do that. Okay, we're going to click. We're going to perfect. All right, I ran into this last time. I was able to get around it, so we're going to try that again. Go back here. quick. Okay. So we're going to try one other thing that didn't work. So we're going to go back again, and I'm just going to click submit. We're going to see what happens. Perfect. Bam. Look at that. I grabbed it. There you go. When in doubt, work it out. All right. Submit. And then we're going to hit on done. And so what we're going to do real quick, we're going to modify this prompt. That's what we're going to do. Please create, um, do not put the message in quotes. Perfect. That should fix our, perfect. Okay. So now those are all done. Cool. So we're just going to run this through real quick. We're going to let it play it so that we can just see that it works. And then I'm going to also attach a Google Sheet at the end that I've built out. That's actually not my form. It's another form, Google Sheet that I intended to use originally. I have noticed it's a little buggy adding in the variables into the kind of end Google Sheet, whether it's the same or not. And so that's been a little interesting. So we'll see if there's an update to that. But just to verify that this runs. Now, like I said, this is a little, just a cool little way to customize messages and responses from contact forms. It's not entirely done. We'll see in just a moment because we're going to have a second automation in the apps that's going to send an email out, which is pretty cool. And so we'll see this here again. This is going to be used. Perfect. Okay. And then it should submit. And then bam, it's done. The automation is over. That would be in a Google Sheet in just a moment. Like I said, I want to show you real quick here, just adding in a Google Sheet. So if I go to the apps, I'm going to go to Sheets again. And this actually was working for me earlier. Like I said, it has been a little bit finicky, but we're going to go to add a row. You could also update a row if you wanted to do something there. We're going to do add a row, which it's trying to think about. Now, I have found in the event that you kind of get stuck in something like this where it's just loading and kind of taking forever, it actually is faster sometimes to just restart, come back in, click in. It's going to insert a row. Then I'm going to come in KT Sheets. Now, when I was testing this out, doing things like this first time, you can add a sheet in literally about 3 seconds, come back in here, and it will typically have the new sheet ready to go for you, which is pretty awesome. So it just takes a second or two to sync up. All right, this is called emails for AI opt-in. We're gonna let that come here, sheet one. And so this is one of the other requests I've received a couple of videos on that says I want to drop information into a sheet. So these are our headers. I messed it up earlier, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a pre-formatted one. Oh no, it is a header. Just kidding. That should say email, okay? So here I'm going to grab in our email, which is step value D, our body, which is going to be step 7, and then subject line. If I had AI do that as its own thing, I could. I'm not going to, but we'll say test. And then I believe, yep, this is here. So if we come down here, you'll see our most recent message. Again, values D didn't populate correctly, but that's okay. We'll see if it corrects itself. I was running some tests on this earlier, and it did seem to work, just not during this. So we'll see if that works in just a moment. We're going to close, hit save and close, and hit save here. And then we're just going to run it one more time. Well, that's running in the background. So let's see what that looks like. Again, part of the testing here. We'll also see if by running the entire automation, that actually fixes the data import from the original sheet. If it doesn't matter because we have the Google form workaround, which will create a new row and trigger another journey. As you can see, that slight variation on our prompt actually worked really well. That's going to serve our email pretty well in our next automation step. All right, and this pause you're seeing right here before it closes up the window is it's syncing to that other sheet. So if we come into the sheet, we actually see that it did work. So that's awesome. This seems to be doing a lot better than it was earlier when I was testing it. So we'll see it's not perfectly reliable. This is not actually the Google Excel sheet generated by the middleman form. That is not there yet. So that's cool there. So what are we going to do with this? Well, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new automation. And so here we're going to come to apps. And what's going to happen is we're going to create a new flow. I don't love how this pops into this tiny little sub window here. So I'm going to just boop, make that bigger. I'm going to select the trigger, and the trigger is going to be another Google Sheets trigger. This time, we're going to use the secondary form. And so this is how we would, it's the same exact process. This is emails for AI opt-in. The sheet's going to be sheet 1. Load data. It's going to have tons of sample data. Perfect. Results 5. Yeah, we'll use results 5. That's fine. Okay. Then the next one we're going to do is we're going to Gmail. Okay. And remember what's cool about this is in the event that I can't get the other syncing component to actually sync up here, that's okay. It's not a problem at all. We're going to send an email. We're going to do, I already connected my email, but if you want to connect your email, it'll be the same exact process. We're going to come in. This is going to be our value right here. It's going to be our column A. Then our subject line is going to be something ideally more creative than this, but we'll say AI Mastermind waitlist confirmation, plain text, the body, and I could pre-build. What's really neat about this is I can absolutely build an HTML email and then insert the variable. I'm going to show you in just a second, but we're going to make a plain text email, and it's going to say something like this. It's going to say, actually, we're just going to do this. Bam, value is going to be our message, right? And then it's going to say enter, enter, and I'm just going to put a little cheesy signature. Chad Wooters, make it a little fancy, build some credibility there. And then our last one is reply to. We're just going to put Chad at kairostalks.com. All right, now we're done. Oh, just kidding. I wanted my name, Chad Wooters. Like I said, you got to build some credibility, so put those credentials in there. If you want to send attachments, you can do all that as well. And saving. Thinking about it. Maybe I broke it. Okay, we're going to come back here. We might use a different result. Let's see, what is result 2? Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. Okay. Bam, bam. We got oh, just kidding. That sample data does not work. Perfect. Okay. Saving, we're going to come, oh, we may have run into a small lag here. Okay, mastermind, new row value, okay, good, 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 good. All right. So we are saving, oh, of course, we have a network connection. We're going to refresh that, see what progress was saved. No problem. You guys saw how long that took to set up. That's not a problem. We're going to come in here, grab our values, bam, little squiggly, Chad Wooters, MBA. Then we're going to do our reply to Chad at Kairos. Perfect. Perfect. All right, and that's it. So now we're going to hit test step, and just in a moment on my handy dandy cell phone, we should see 200. So that looks like it went through. So bam, there it is. And you can now see my email. So we've got the email, plain text again. I'll probably make it a little better, from like a copy standpoint, but you guys can see how quickly that went through. And now I can publish that. I've now got that person in this list, and I can do some other automations to do that. And so a couple things that we accomplished here. First and foremost is we had an automation that we built that went through ChatGPT taking responses from a new Google Sheet. It grabs information, switches to 3.5, creates a 2 to 3 sentence response, and goes through all this stuff to get to, and then drops it into a Google Sheet. I'll turn this on. I'll run a couple tests as well that way because it's pretty simple to do. But this is how you both link a trigger and also an expert in the web recorder, and then also using the app's activate a trigger as well. Sorry for the long video. Hope it helps.